I've been waiting way too long. Yeah, I've been down here trying to get it. Yeah, I've been waiting way too long.
All right, so we're going to look at more properties of exponents, and we're going to do it the same way we did the last time, where we're going to kind of work it out, do the long way, and then figure out what the rule is. All right, so it says simplify 3 to the 5th over 3 to the 3rd. All right, so if we write that out the long way, that's going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 over 3 times 3 times 3. Now, if we wanted to, we could actually multiply this out. Okay, 3 to the 5th is 9, 27, 81, I think 243. But I don't really want to do that. What I want to look at is what could I simplify here? Well, what's 3 divided by 3? 1. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. So what do I end up with? I end up with 3 times 3, which is the same as 3. Oops, not 2. Which is the same as 3 squared. 3 times 3. Okay, so I end up with 3 squared here. All right, let's see what happens here. 3 to the 8th is 3 times 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all over 3 times 3. So what can I simplify? I'm going to go here. I can simplify this and I can simplify this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have 3 to the 6th power. So notice what happens here. Okay, how did I end up with an exponent of a 2? Well, 5 minus 3, right? 5 minus 3. How did I end up with an exponent of 6? 8 minus 2. Again, notice that the bases are the same. So the property here is if I have a to the m over a to the n, that is equal to a to the m minus n. All right, so that's the quotient of powers property. Now, let me put another example over here for you. What if I had 4 to the 3rd over 4 to the 7th? 4 to the 3rd over 4 to the 7th. Well, if I use the rule, that would be 4 to the 3 minus 7, and 3 minus 7 is negative 4. Well, what happens when I have a negative exponent? I cannot leave it like that. Well, what is this going to be? This is going to be, remember, 1 over 4 to the 4th. And if you wanted to, you could multiply that out. So if you get a negative exponent, you still just follow that rule and move that guy to the denominator and make the exponent positive. So let's look down here. X to the 7th over x squared is going to be x to the 5th. 7 minus 2 is 5. Now this one's going to be multi-step. Okay, the denominator needs to be simplified first. So the numerator is going to stay the same for now. A to the 5th, b to the 9th. Over, what's ab to the 4th? Remember the rule. Multiply 4 times the exponent on the inside. So it's going to be a to the 4th, b to the 4th. Now we can use this quotient of powers rule. So a to the 5th over a to the 4th is a to the 1st. B to the 9th over b to the 4th is b to the 5th. Now remember, you don't have to write an exponent of a 1. It's assumed. So we would write this as a b to the 5th. Okay, so that is the quotient of powers property. Now the positive power of a quotient property. Okay. So here we have 2/3 to the 3rd power. Okay, so I'm dividing something. I've got a fraction in here and I'm raising it to a power. 2/3 to the 3rd power is the same as 2/3 times 2, times 2/3 times 2/3, which is the same as 2 cubed on the top, right? 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 to the 3rd power, over 3 to the 3rd on the bottom. Okay, so I can leave my answer like this. I could also simplify 2 to the 3rd is 8. 3 to the 3rd is 27, okay? What about here? Well, let's just kind of figure out what the rule is from here. What happens is this exponent, it's very similar to the one we talked about in the last video. We're going to make sure that both of these numbers get raised to the 3rd power. Not just the numerator, not just the denominator, but both of them. See how we ended up with 2 to the 3rd and 3 to the 3rd? So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to end up with here with 3 to the 4th over 5 to the 4th. Okay, now this can't be simplified unless I'm going to actually multiply it out and get something like this. Otherwise, because these are not the same base, I cannot subtract 4 minus 4. Right? If this was a 3, then I could. All right, and then we have 2x cubed over yz to the third power. So again, we have to make sure that everything inside here gets raised to the third power. So that is going to be 2 to the third power times x to the 9th power. Remember, I'm multiplying. Okay, 2 to the third because the exponent on the 2 was a 1. Over y to the third, z to the third. So you could simplify 2 to the third as 8, so 8x to the 9th over y cubed z cubed. That would be your final answer. There's nothing else that can be simplified there. Okay, so that's the positive power of a quotient. So what is the rule there? The rule there is if I have a over b raised to the n power, that is going to be a to the n over b to the n. Might be written a little bit different in your book, but that's how I'm going to write it. Okay? All right, last one. This is negative power of a quotient. So this is really just kind of combining a couple of things that we talked about already. So remember, when I have a negative exponent, let's review. If I have 5 to the negative third power, that is equal to 1 over 5 cubed. Okay, so what is 2/3 to the negative third power? It's equal to 1 over 2/3 cubed. All right. If I divide by a fraction, that is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. We talked about that earlier also. So this is going to be the same as 3 over 2 to the third power. So when I have something raised to a negative power that is a fraction, I need to flip it and then make the exponent positive. Okay, what is 3 squared to the third power? Well, it's 3 to the third over 2 to the third, which is 27 over 8. Okay, so let's write the rule. So the rule is if I have a over b to the negative n, that is equal to b over a to the n. All right, so what is this? This is going to be y squared over 3x to the third power. Let me simplify that now. 3 times 2 is 6, so this is y to the 6 over 3. Remember, I have an exponent here. Don't forget about the 3 here. That's 3 to the third times x to the third. So y to the 6th over 27x cubed. Now, if you have a coefficient here, if I would have had a coefficient in front of the y and I could simplify, then I would definitely want to do that with the 27. Last one, b squared c cubed over 2a, all raised to the 4th power. Okay, I'm using the reciprocal and I'm raising it to the positive power. That is going to be, and I would try this on your own. I would pause it and see if you can do the right math here. So you should have gotten b to the 8th, c to the 12th, over 2 to the 4th. Again, don't forget there's an invisible 1 here. He's got to get raised to the 4th power also. A to the 4th, b to the 8th, c to the 12th, over 2 to the 4th. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, a to the 4th. Nothing here can be simplified. Okay, if we would have had an a up here, then we could have simplified that. And we'll do some practice problems like that because you need to know how to do that. All right, so those are the quotient rules. I believe that's it right there. Oh, here's your homework. Okay, not that many problems again. Page 485, numbers 9 through 16. Okay, please make sure you do those. If you have from here, you can do them. Show your work. So if you mess up, I can correct your work. Thanks for watching. If there's anything you didn't understand, go back and re-watch, and I'll see you in class.
I've been waiting way too long. Yeah.